Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Tuition. In this tutorial, we will understand how to create image uploader with JavaScript. You will learn how to create a button and upload images in the grid system. So, we're also going to create this beautiful animation when we upload these images. So, we will just select these images by clicking on this button and specify a folder which has images. And then we'll display all these images on the browser in the grid system. So, let's get started. So, here I have Visual Studio Code editor. And in this editor, I have a simple folder upload. In this folder, I have few images, right? I just wanted to display all these images on the browser in the grid system. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just first create a new file here. So I'll just click on this icon and say here index.html. So this will create a simple HTML file. Then I will just create a new file called style.css. And then I'm going to create a new file for JavaScript. So I'll just say magic.js, right? In index.html file, I will just create a simple HTML5 snippet. So I will just say exclamation mark and press enter. So this will create a simple HTML5 snippet for us. Just after that, here I will just specify a title. So I will just say here uploader. Then I will just link the style.css file. So I will just say link style.css. And then before the closing body tag, I will just call the script tag, and in the source attribute, I will just say magic.js file. So here you can see I have linked style.css and magic.js file to this index.html file. Now I just want to open this code in the Zen mode. So I will just click on the view and just say here Zen mode. Now you can clearly see the index.html file. So I will just split the window and open my style.css file here. So I'll just say Ctrl P and just select my style.css here. Now in the body tag, I will first create a container. So I will just create a container here, container, and in this container, I will just say wrapper. Now in this wrapper class, I will just create a label and specify a for files, right? Now in this label, I will just create input type file and just specify a name. So I will just say files and the ID is going to be my files, right? Save the changes. So I'll just right click here and open this with the live server. If you haven't installed this live server extension, then first install this live server extension and open this file in the live server. So now you can see here I have a button to choose my file, right? Now I don't want to use this label and this disgusting button here. So I'll just create my custom button to select the file. So I will just create a new button here. So I will just say input type button, specify ID. ID is going to be file btn. Now I will just hide this button. So I'm going to say here style display none, right? So now you can't see this button on the UI. Now when I click on this button, I just wanted to open the file window, right? I will just create on click event on this input type button and just say here document dot get element by ID. I just wanted to specify this ID, right? This one. So I will just copy this ID and paste it here and just call click event, right? Don't forget to specify parentheses here because I wanted to execute this click event on this file input when I click on this button, right? Save the changes. And when I click on this button, this will open up the file window. Now you can select your files from this window, right? But now you can see here we can't select the folder. You can't select the folder right now. Now to select the folder, you just need to specify here directory, and you also want to specify a prefix for your browser. So I'll just say here WebKit directory. Save the changes. And when I click on this button, now you can select any directory from your computer, right? Now I just wanted to display icon on this button. So I'll just open my browser and just say here font awesome. Click on start using free and just copy this CDN by clicking on this button and just paste it in the head section right up here. Save the changes. So now you can use any icon from Font Awesome website. So here I will just click on these icons and just wanted to use download icon from this Font Awesome website. So I just want to use this icon. So I will just select this icon, and to use this icon you just need to copy this code, this HTML code, and just paste it in the body section. So I will just paste it here, right? And when I execute this, you will get your icon here. Now I just wanted to add some style to this HTML document. So in style.css file here, I will just add some style. Now I just wanted to specify gradient color for my background. So I will just say here body and just specify background and say here liner gradient. And in this liner gradient function, I will just say to right, specify color. So I will specify hex color here 00C DAC, right? And then specify my second gradient color. So I will just say 02 AAB0. So this is the code of my hex color. Specify semicolon and save the changes. So you will have this beautiful gradient color on the background. Just after that, here I will just select this global selector and just say here box sizing, border box, then say padding. I will just remove all the padding from all these elements and also remove margin from all elements. And then I will just select the container and just say here text align center. I will just center this button here, right? Just after that, here I will just select this wrapper class. So I will just say here wrapper and just specify display inline and just say padding 1.4 em and 2 em, right? And just say border radius 0.4 em and just specify background color, which is an X value. So I will just specify hex value here and then specify position relative and the color of the text, right? Save the changes and you will get this type of result. Now I just want to increase the size of this icon. So in the class of this icon here, I will just add another class which is fa2x. So this will increase the size of this icon, right? Now I just wanted to remove this border and the background color of this button. So I will just select this button. So I will just say here container and using the ID, I will just say file btn and just specify a border 0 and I will just remove background color. So I will just say background none. Then I will say here cursor pointer and then specify absolute position for this button. I just wanted to show you where is this button. So I will just specify a background color and just say here light coral. Save the changes and you can't see the button right now. So I will just specify a position absolute, specify top property to 0 and left property to 0 and just specify width 100% and height is going to be 100%, right? So now you can see your button here. So whenever you hover your mouse over here, you will get this cursor. If you do not specify this property, let me show you what's happened. So I will just remove this width and height. Then you can click this button because here you can see we didn't specify any value to this button. So button is completely hide from this window. So I just wanted to display this button here. So I will just specify width and height for this button. So you will get this type of button here. Now I will just get rid of this background color and when I click on it, you will get your window, right? Now I just wanted to create a grid layout for my images. So what I'm going to do is I will just create here. So I will just say here div and specify class row. And in this division tag, I will just create 4 columns. So I will just say column, copy this code, paste it here and paste it here. Now here I have 4 columns. Now I just wanted to put all these images in this column, in these 4 columns. Now I will just specify some demo text in this column. So I will just say here 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now you will get this type of result. You will get this text here. Now I will just say here, I will just select this row division tag. So I will just say row here and just specify display, flex, flex wrap, and just say here padding 5 em. Just after that, I just want to select all this column. So what I will do is, I will just select the row first and then say column and just specify some style and just say flex 25%, right? So I just wanted to create 4 columns of width 25% and then say here padding 0.1 em. Now this will create 4 columns of 25%, right? Now I just want to specify some default styling to my images. So I will just first select the row, then select the column and then select the image class. Right? I haven't imported any image yet, but I will just specify default styling to my images. So I will just say width 100%. So when I import my images, I just want to specify 100% width for my images. And then I will just say border 2 pixel, solid, and just specify a color. And then specify a color here. So I will just say E5, E5, E6. Save the changes. Now let's move on to the JavaScript and add some functionalities to this UI. So I will just increase the size of this window and just open my JavaScript file here. So I will just say Ctrl P and just say magic.js file. So in this file, I will first select this input type file, right? So I will just say here let file is equal to document.getElementById, then specify ID here, and just after that I will select these columns. So I'm going to say here let columns is equal to document.querySelectorAll and just specify this column class here, right? So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, right? Don't forget to specify dot here, right? Now here I will just create onChange event on this file variable. Now I'm going to create event handler on input type file. Now I just want to create event handler on this input type file. So I'm going to first select this file and just say here onChange and then specify event handler. I'm going to create arrow function here. I will just specify parenthesis, arrow, and the body of this function. Now I just wanted to get all my images when I call the onChange event on this input type file. So when I select any folder, I just wanted to display all my images on the console. To do that, so I will just say here console.log and just print files and just call files property of this file object. So this files property will return all the files in the folder. So I will just save this and just execute it and just open my console. So I will just say Ctrl+Shift+I. So this will open my console window. I will just click on this button and select my upload folder, right? And just say upload. And this alert message says that this will upload all files from upload. Only do this if you trust this site. So I will just say here upload, right? So here this will return a file list object. So in this file list object, you will get your images, right? Now I just wanted to access all these properties and display them on the console. So I will just get rid of this statement and just create a comment. So I will just say here get files from the directory, and here I will just call for inlow and just iterate the object and just specify here file dot files and just say here console.log and print this element variable. So I will just say element here. Get rid of this second parameter, save the changes, and when I upload my folder, this will print the images on the console. So now you have your images in this element variable. Now I will just create if statement here. So I will just say if element dot type, if the element dot type is equal to image of JPG, or I will just say here element dot type is equal to images of PNG, then I just want to print image name on the console and just say element dot name. Save the changes and just select my folder again and you will get your image's name on the console, right? I just wanted to show you how you can get the image path. So I will just get rid of this name property, save the changes, and execute it again. So you can see here, when you click on this file object, you will get this image path using this WebKit relative property. So if I just copy this property and just specify just after this element, save the changes and execute this again, then you will get the path of all the images. So I have all my images in this upload folder. I will just get rid of this statement. Now, when you have your images, I just wanted to append all my images in this column division tag. I just wanted to append all my images in this column division tag one by one. Let's say if you have image in this column div, right? And you have image in this third column div. Now, how do you know in which division tag you need to append your image? Right now, I wanted to import my image in this second column div. But how do you know that in which division tag you need to put your image? For that, I will just create a function. So I will just say here. So for that, I will just create a function and name this function mean parent, right? And just specify a parameter. So I will just say here parent node. Just after that, in this function, I will just create let array. So this is my blank array. So I will just specify square bracket here. Just after that, I will just get the children of the parent node. So I'm going to say here parent nodes dot for each. So I will just call for each method here, right? And in this for each method, I will just say here element and just say here console.log and just print this element here, right? This parameter. Get rid of this second argument and just wanted to execute this function. So I will just call this function here. So I just wanted to say here mean parent and just specify parameter. So now I just wanted to specify these columns in this parameter. So here I have a variable columns. I will just specify this variable here. So I will just say here columns. Now let me first save this file. I will just save this file and save this file. When I execute this, you will get 4 columns, right? So in the first column we have image and in the third column we have this image. Now I just wanted to get the children of these columns. So I'm going to say here children, right? So the children property will return the children of these columns. Save the changes and when I execute this, you will get the HTML collection object. So in the first object, you will get the image tag. And in the third object, you will get this image tag. So now you know that in which column you need to append your image. So you need to append your image in the second and in the fourth column. Now I will just call the length property. So I will just say length. So now you have a length of the children. So here in the first column we have 1 children and in the third column we have 1 children. On the second and on the fourth column we have 0 children. Now you know that in which division tag you have less child nodes. So in the second and the fourth division tag you have 0 child nodes. So I will just store all this value in the array. Now on each array index, I just wanted to store element dot children dot length, right? So here in the bracket, I will just specify I and just create this I variable here in the parenthesis. So I will just specify parenthesis here and just specify second argument I, right? So this argument will return index number. Now on each array index, I just want to store the length of the child nodes, right? So I will just say here console.log and just print this array. When you execute this, you will get this type of result. Now you know that in the first division tag you have 1 children, in the second you have 0, in the third you have 1 children, and in the fourth division tag you have 0 children. Now I will just get the minimum number from this array. So I will just say here let mean is equal to math. I will just call the math object dot mean dot apply method. So the first argument is going to be null and then I will just specify my array here, right? So this method will return minimum number from this array. So if I just say console.log and just print this minimum number, then I will get 0, right? Now, when you have a minimum number, just after that, here I will just create for loop. So I will just say for, specify let I is equal to 0, I is less than parent node dot length, and here I just wanted to get rid of this statement and just say here if parent node of I dot children dot length is equal to mean, then I just want to return parent node of I, right? What we had done here, I will just iterate through the parent nodes and just check if the parent node child is equal to this minimum variable, then I will just return these parent nodes. Now let's check this function. So I will just wrap this statement in the console. So I will just say console.log and just paste this function here, right? Save the changes and you will get your second div element, because in the second div element you have less child nodes. Now let's say if you have image tag in the second child node. So I will just say image here. Now what would be the result? The result would be this. This will return the fourth division tag. Save the changes, and if I execute this, you will get the fourth division tag, because this division tag has 0 child nodes. Now I will just create another function to append my images. I will just create a comment and just say here function create img, specify parameter img source. I will just create image tag here. So I will just let img is equal to document dot create element and just specify img tag here, right? So this will create image tag for us. Just after that, here I will just say img dot set attribute and just specify here source, and the value is going to be img source. So using this statement, we'll just specify source attribute to this image. Just after that, here I will just say img dot class name and just specify a class name to my image. So I will just say img here and just return this image tag, right? Now this is very simple function. So in this function, we'll just create image tag and specify source attribute and the class name and just return this image, right? Now I will just call this function here. So I will just get rid of this statement, and here I will just say let parent column is equal to mean parent and just specify column variable here, right? So now in the parent column we have a division tag. We have a division tag which has less child nodes, right? So when you have your division tag, I will just append my images one by one in this division tag. Now just after that, I will just call this function create img. So I will just see here let img is equal to create img, and then in the parameter I will just specify element. I will specify this element variable dot WebKit relative path, right? So this property will just return the relative path of the image, right? Just after that, here I will just say parent column dot append child and just append this image here. So I will just say image here. Save the changes. When I execute this and just select my folder, you will get your images here. But now you can see this images is not loading properly. Now I just want to create animation and display all these images one by one. To do that, I will just create a variable here. So I will just create an array variable here. So I will just select array image is equal to, and this is my blank array. So I will store all these images in this array, right? So what I'm going to do is I will just say here array of img, and on the each key I just wanted to store element. I will just specify some styling. I will just open style.css file. So I will just say Ctrl P, open my style file, and for the image styling I will just say display none. And here, just after the loop, just after this loop, I will just create a comment, animate image, and just create a variable I is equal to 0, initialize this variable with 0, and just after that I will just say set interval, specify handler function, and just get rid of these arguments. And here I will just specify millisecond, so I'm going to specify here 200, right? Now here I will just say, so I will just say array of I is equal to dot set attribute, and just say here style, and just change the display property and just say display initial, right? Now I just wanted to import the animation file, so I will just back to my browser and just call the animate.css file. Just click on this first website, animate.css, and just click on this view on GitHub. From here, just copy the CDN. So here is your CDN. Just copy this and paste it in the HTML file. So I will just open my HTML file, and in the head section here I will just paste this, and I just wanted to call this zoom in animation. So I'm going to call this zoom in animation here. So I'm going to say here array img of I dot class list dot add, and just wanted to add a class and just specify here animated and zoom in class, right? And then I will just increase the value of I by 1. So I will just say I plus plus, right? Just forgot to specify curly braces here. Just after that, here in the HTML file, I will just get rid of this image tag and this for text. Save the changes. Now I just wanted to select my image folder. This is my upload image folder, and just upload it. So this will return an error. Error says that array img is not a function. Now I just wanted to check what is the problem. I don't want to specify the image file to this array. I wanted to specify the image tag. So I will just get rid of this statement, and here I will just say array img of key, I will say img, right? So on every index of array I will just store the image tag. Save the changes, and when I execute this and just wanted to upload my folder and just say upload, you will get your images one by one, right? So this error says cannot read property set attribute of undefined. Now I just wanted to clear this set timeout. So I'm going to say here let clear time is equal to, and just after that here I will say I is equal to array img dot length. Then I just wanted to call clear interval method and just specify this variable, right, in this parenthesis, or return undefined. Save the changes and execute it again. Specify your folder and you will get your images, right? That's it. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment. Subscribe to this channel for more programming related videos. Like this video if you find anything useful, and also if you wanted to practice on this project, you can download this project from the description. That's it. That is all for now. I will see you in the next tutorial.